It's hard. It's hard at first when I still love her, and I try to not. I'm never too mean or yell or scream. It's more stern talking and and
Hmm.
and, and showing her. And then after I'm mean to her, you got to tell her you love her, and I'm sorry I had to tell you, and
Yeah.
I just want you to listen to mom and all that good stuff. But yeah, it took a little learning curve because it's hard. They're so
Wait,
cute.
what?
It's hard to be yeah, it's hard to be mean to them. But it's necessary. I think that my child, at least over time, there are certain times where she'll be doing something, and you can just give them that look, and you don't have to be mean to them because you already have been or whatever. You
Hmm.
set that precedent early. So I love you, Daddy.
This is For Fathers, a podcast for fathers to uplift and encourage each other with the understanding we are the forefathers of the next generation. I'm eloQuint. This is episode 112. And today we got my main man, Corey Brassington, man. Hey, tell everybody what's up.
How's everybody doing? Happy to be here.
Man, happy to have you after you put a whooping on us a couple times in this league, man. I'm still kind of sick about that, but hey, it's all love though.
Oh man, it was tough games though.
Oh yeah, it was, man. It was a joy to see you with your daughter and it's how you interacted. My wife told me that as soon as she walked in on our playoff game and how you just lit up when you saw her. She was like, you got to get him on the podcast. I said, let me go ahead and do that then.
Oh man, no, that it's the best feeling. I'm sure you've had it many times, but that's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So like, we were just talking about that daddy daughter love, man. Like there's no love like it, a love that doesn't require us to be anything or do anything is just pure. So, man, talk about your experiences. I know you said 17 months in. So, how's that daddy daughter love been for you?
Oh man, you know, it is just the best. I feel like anyone who has kids and doesn't have that, you know, daddy daughter moment. Sons are different, daughters are different. Everybody has their you know moments with both, I would say, but I just feel like daughters, for men, they take out, all the anger, all the stress, all that stuff it makes it worth it, really, at the end of the day. It's hard to explain. Um, you know, the words I could say, I could talk for a day, but daughters, man, they're really over the top and they bring out the best in you for sure.
Oh yeah, man. That anger though, like you just hit on it. Like I know it used to course through my veins, but when
Hmm.
they soften you, man. I got
Yeah.
told somebody before. I said, man, I didn't know I can cry so much until I had a daughter.
It's crazy. Whether it's watching girly movies or whatever, you get in tune with that. I guess girl, you're around it more. I had brothers. I know you got a brother. Um, I'm just with guys playing sports, doing whatever. So being with little girls and hanging out with your daughter and experiencing those stuff, it's definitely, like you said, it softens you. I will say it's crazy.
Like nothing ever. Like I don't, man. It's unexplainable. Like it
Hmm.
truly is. So what was your first experience when you realized that your daughter really softened you?
Yeah, I just feel like her way of looking at things, the way she goes about her favorite toys, her favorite shows, all that stuff. Um, it just brings a joy to my eye to see her flourish and see her that little personality, those first little moments where you kind of get that giggle, and it's daddy's little girl from then on out. She steals your heart early on. So I would say it's probably around when she started giggling and noticing me when you come in the room and all that good stuff. So it, obviously you had that love before, but when you get that daddy, spark from your daughter, it definitely, it's like butterflies all over again.
Oh
So
yeah, them eyes light up and they reach out for
yep,
you.
yep,
Oh man, I
yeah,
know all about it.
yeah.
Have you had a scare? Like my first scare of my daughter, she was only a couple months, man, and
Hmm.
she like coughed up phlegm and they got caught on her nose, so she couldn't breathe. And then I didn't
Oh man.
realize I knew what to do, but I moved so quick. Like I cleaned it up and got her and made sure she was like, but I didn't know I knew how to do that. That's literally my first like month or two. You ever
Yeah.
had one of them?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you didn't even know it's like a fight or flight type of situation. I've definitely had it where, she's coughing or she's choking on something and you look over because they say, if they're choking, you won't hear it type of situation. And I was in all those, I'm sure you did some of them, the kid classes or the, parenting, whatever, when you're first being a parent. And, they give you all those things, but yeah. Until you're there, I've been in this choking scares when she's sleeping. I'm making sure she's breathing, all that good stuff. You run in the room. But yeah, too many, honestly, it's sad to say, but too many to count. I know that I had one bad one on early, but it was the same as you. You hop right into action, you go
Mhm.
into super dad mode and you fix the problem. But thankfully, it wasn't a choking situation, and she wasn't, having trouble breathing. It just sounded as if she was. So
Uh-huh.
I haven't had like a real true scare. I'm sure people probably, have had closer ones, but I think as an early dad,
It's scary
anything,
enough.
yeah, yeah, anything out of the anything out of the ordinary, you're just right on it. So it's a lot for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like you used to go in the middle of the night and just watch her and make sure she was breathing. I used to do that all the time, man.
Ah,
Like I can't hear you breathing, so I got to go in there and
yeah,
just watch. Is your chest rising? Okay,
yeah.
yeah, it is. I'm good. I'm good.
You got the monitor, right? You're looking at the
Uh-huh.
monitor. She's in the crib, and you're like, I can't see her. Yeah, their chest rising. That's the funniest. And she's a couple weeks old or however old. She's really little, so you're like, oh man, is she understanding how to breathe? As simple as something as simple as that. I remember thinking to myself, being like, I gotta roll her so her mouth is not down or whatever. So I was in there, like you said, I was in there a lot. It
Oh
was
yeah.
yeah,
I'm already knowing, man.
yeah.
So when you found out that she was a girl, did you find out through birth or did you do it on the ultrasound or the blood test? How'd you go about that?
Yeah, so um we did do the ultrasound and we figured it out. We never actually did like a gender reveal or anything of that sort. We let our close family know, and then everyone when she was born, they texted me and congratulate. And a lot of people I did tell, but I would say the majority we were pretty private with that. So
So what was your
did the
first thought when you found out she was a girl? It's like, what was your initial thought? Because my heart dropped. I was like, oh no, I don't know what I'm about to do.
yeah, for some reason I had a keen feeling that I was gonna get a girl. I don't know why.
Really?
Um, but everybody wants Project LeBron. I'm just gonna say it. Everybody, everybody wants that older son or that first boy. Get it out of the way type of situation where they can, give him all the sports and try to just train him or whatever people do with the Project LeBron is obviously a joke. I don't want anybody thinking I'm doing anything crazy with my kids, but I was more like it's gonna be different. That's really what that first. Oh wow, I'm having a girl. It's something For me, I had two brothers. I have two female cousins, a couple. My aunts. I've been around women, but not as close as a sibling or a small baby girl. So yeah, I knew it was going to be challenging, but I was pretty excited. I feel you though.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So, but did you not have any fears at all? Like, I know you said challenging, but you had, because my fears, I was like, man, I don't know about you, but back in the day, I was trying to be player. I was
Yeah,
trying to, using
yeah, of
basketball
course,
to get the
of
girls. So I
course.
was like, dang, somebody gonna try to do that to my daughter. I was like, I
Yeah,
got a daggone daughter.
of course. No, that's the first thing I think that goes through your mind too, is that end of the spectrum of, somebody at 16 is gonna get happy, gonna get the talking to from old dad. But yeah, I worry about that stuff. But I think, like you said, you're the basketball player. You were trying to do it, so I think you'll have a keen eye for,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
that I looked at it from the that perspective too. But I definitely, those thoughts, they come up for
They
sure.
creep into your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, they be playing down the street. I be looking out the window like, who is she talking to? And then they talk to her, but who that? Like, why are you talking to him? What he talking about?
No, dude, you got to. That's your
Yeah, man,
little,
you gotta stay
yeah.
on top,
No
especially
matter
nowadays,
what.
man.
Yeah. No, it's
Because
crazy. It's crazy. It's a wild west out here, and no matter what
what?
age, no matter what
Yeah,
age, she'll always be your baby girl. So
right.
that's crazy.
But even in the world, just all the crazy stuff going on, people getting picked up and stuff like that, because
Hmm.
all these predators, all that kind of stuff. So you always, man, always keep an eye out. Always,
Hmm.
they call a helicopter dad. I don't know if you heard that
Yeah.
before, but
Yeah.
I'm a helicopter dad, boy. I'll be on it.
I mean, realistically, you kind of got to be in today's age. I mean, when we were kids, I know I'm aging myself and I sound old saying stuff like when we were kids, but we would go out, and when we went home, it was because the street lights turned on, or mom was making dinner. But I was out from when I was at home from school till my parents basically called me home where it got dark. So
Oh yeah,
it's
street lights
different.
come on. That's the last time
Yeah.
when I come
Hmm.
inside.
It's different. Yeah, it's different now, and it's unfortunate, but like you said, helicopter dad. That's me. I go to the park. I'm right there with her playing in the sandbox. I'm you know high in the sky basically at all times for sure.
So looking at it from the parenting perspective, and you and your wife,
Hmm.
did y'all, before y'all had kids, y'all have that conversation about how you're gonna raise her or
Hmm.
him, like before you even knew? I'm saying, did you, like, when you, I guess, at conception, I guess, if you will, did y'all
Yeah.
start having those conversations, or like what you will and will not allow, your differences from your, how you grew up and how
Hmm.
y'all come in a line to parent together? You had those conversations?
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely see eye to eye with a lot of stuff. We're both pretty faith based, individuals. We both. That's, I think, why we meshed well from the beginning. Was we both wanted the nuclear family with good jobs and provide for our kids and all that good stuff, and teach them traditional values of doing the right thing, yes ma'am, no ma'am, that good stuff. And we did have those conversations multiple times, and I think that's why we, like I said, mesh so well. But I think those conversations are huge. uh, uh, you know, Early on, I think the better, especially if you see a future with somebody, because
Mm-hmm.
you know it's sad to see kids with parents that either argue over stuff like that, and then it just creates a rift, and you don't want to see that down the road. You'd rather have that conversation early. But yes, we did. That was big for us.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you're gonna continue having those conversations
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
being different perspective as a
Hmm.
male and a female, man.
Yeah.
You the leader, the sometimes the one that's got to be hard on them. She's the
Hmm.
nurturer. Um, I know she's only 17 months, but have you had those a little bit of tension in that realm yet?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know how that goes. A lot of times it's daddy when the discipline comes in. A lot of times, mom's voice is very, soft to a child at times, and they try. My daughter, at least at times, tries to get away with certain things, and then I got to come in and drop the dad hammer on her. But I think, like you said, just continuous conversation with those types of situations, and values moving forward, and it'll always be changing. It's really the more time goes on, the bigger she gets, and the more things come on your
Mhm.
plate. Those conversations are just going to continue
Right.
on, and they'll change, but they'll stay close to the same as far as middle school, high school, all that good stuff, and then
Right.
so on and
Every
so
season
on.
has
But
different questions,
of course,
different things.
of
I
course,
definitely get that. Was it hard for you, especially with the daughter, man? Was it hard for you to drop that hammer? Like, did you have to grow into that, or did you like? Was it natural?
it's hard. It's hard at first when I still love her, and I try to not. I'm never too mean or yell or scream. It's more stern talking and
Hmm.
showing her. And then after I'm mean to her, you got to tell her you love her, and I'm sorry I had to tell you, and
Yeah.
I just want you to listen to mom and all that good stuff. But yeah, it took a little learning curve because it's hard. They're so
Wait,
cute.
what?
It's hard to be yeah, it's hard to be mean to them. But it's necessary. I think that my child, at least over time, there are certain times where she'll be doing something, and you can just give them that look, and you don't have to be mean to them because you already have been or whatever. You
Hmm.
set that precedent early. So definitely was a learning curve though, because they're too darn cute.
Man,
Yeah.
man, I'll tell you, it took me not a minute, but it did take me some time to
Hmm.
really drop the hammer like I needed to. I would say it, and the child nudging along is, they small and cute, and you just want to hold
Hmm.
them and stuff like that. But then you let them get away with too much, and they think they can run you, and so then you
Hmm.
got like, I was just playing with you now. Like, you can't do this no more.
Yeah. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile for
Oh
sure.
yeah, anybody, any kid, I don't care who you is.
Yeah.
And then for me, I wasn't in the house with my daughter when I first born, so that
Hmm.
also caused a little bit of me letting things go, just to make sure that we was always uh, in good graces, if you will, because I was wanting my time to be good, so and not to have any problems.
No.
But like you said, learning curve. I had to
No,
learn.
yeah, learning curve. No, for sure. Totally get that.
So you said that you said a lot of faith-based principles. So does that
Hmm.
mean I'm assuming you mean Christian, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So um, I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to sophomore year in high school, and
Mm,
I'm not I try to go to church as much as I can, but I'm not, as probably every Sunday as I want to be. But yeah, pretty faith based. We try to pray and you know try to keep it PG, like you said, no cussing, no none of that stuff. We try to be as close as we can to a faith based life, if you will.
yeah, I definitely get that.
Hmm.
I really started living for Christ about 2 years ago.
That's
So
awesome.
my my youngest don't she's only 5, so when she don't really remember too much of the
Hmm.
old me. But my oldest two can remember a little bit more. So now it's really I ensure that I'm always, laying that foundation of Christ, laying that foundation of
Hmm.
wisdom, through the word. We read the word at night. We pray every night. We are pretty regular churchgoers and stuff like that, but it's
Hmm.
really important,
Hmm.
especially as men. And that's another
Hmm.
reason why this another way this podcast has turned to really just impart into men, really to lean on Christ, the cornerstone, the foundation, because it's up to us to lead our families, to wash our kids with the word, um, wash our wives with the word. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
the preacher can't teach us everything. We have to teach in our own home as well. So I definitely encourage you, my brother, just to continue this to dive into that because Christ is the way, the truth, and the
Yeah.
life. So most
No,
definitely.
absolutely, man. And like I said, I got to do better. There's certain times where I'm honestly lazy with it, or you've had a long week and that Sunday comes around and stuff like that. And going to Catholic school my entire life, I was just around it so much. So there are certain times where I felt as though when I was younger I was a little burnt out, as going every Sunday and then he'd pray before every class and all that good stuff. And I never turned away from God or anything of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. I still always kept the faith, but as far as the practicing went, it definitely slowed down as I got older, but I totally agree. And my wife and I, we got our daughter baptized this year, and we're going to go
That's
through.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. And we're going to go through, all the sacraments, all the stuff that I did as a kid. I just think, like you said, it's a cornerstone to living, a fulfilled life. I think God and Christ is one of the biggest things, not only to keep you, centered and to keep you humbled and all that good stuff, but just just to strive for more. I think when you come from that type of perspective, and you put your faith in God, I think a lot of things are possible, and I think more with Him than without, in my opinion. So
Oh yeah.
that is just my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm not a crazy, going every single day and doing all that. I need to be better, but that is just my opinion on it.
Right, he definitely is the
Yeah,
biggest. I definitely agree with
yeah.
you. So how we the movies portray Catholic school away, and I never been to a Catholic school before. So how really was it from an experience of somebody that grew up in a Catholic school?
Yeah.
Man, how was that experience?
Yeah, it's to me it was the same as I went to Leesville too my last 2 years of high school. Obviously, I was a lot older, so I had a lot of my, I guess, foundation already underneath me, but it's just regular school with a uniform, a little bit more rules. You know, some of the kids are a little bit, I don't know, some of the kids a little bit well off, a little bit more nerdy, if you will, I guess, because you have those typical kids, but you have those kids at public school too.
Right.
So, in my opinion, it was great. I liked it. The teachers were nice. The facilities were nice. All the sporting teams. We did have middle school athletics and all that good stuff. So I can't say anything bad about it. I would never, it's expensive. I think I'm gonna try to push my kids to go to private school, but my experience was, I would say, good overall for sure. But it's a little different, I guess, when it comes to high school. I think high school was even more like Cardinal Gibbons was even more like Leesville than when you're younger, in my
I know
opinion.
Carnegie was a Catholic school.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I went
okay.
to there for 2 years and then Leesville for 2 years, and I liked Leesville more, but that's probably just because I
You ready
wouldn't
to get
say
up out of
yeah,
there.
yeah, it's the uniforms and the rules, and I think, like I said earlier, just kind of burnt out. I was elementary school or kindergarten to high school with Catholic school, so I was just ready to, some of those rules, the shirt tucked in and the uniforms and all that good stuff. It was kind of getting old, so
Yeah.
uh,
And then you're a teenager, you're like, man, I'm trying to,
mhm.
trying to experience something different.
Yeah,
I
of
definitely get
course,
that.
of course. But I liked
Even
it. I liked it for sure. Can't talk
that's
bad
good.
about it.
That's awesome. Even grew up in a Christian household. My parents are real, rigorous in that. So you just want
Hmm.
to experience the world. Really ain't nothing out there though. So
Yeah.
I came
No,
back.
no, I hear you.
So you mentioned putting your kids in a private school. I'm a public school
Hmm.
teacher. So I
Yeah.
guess what do you see for the reason why you would want to have your kid in a private school rather than a public or even Catholic charter, whatever the case may be?
Yeah, I don't know what we'll do as of right now. I really don't. But I have, unfortunately, just, and I don't know if they're even true. It could change. It's just from like neighborhood Facebook groups and that type of stuff. Just not heard the best thing about the public schools around me. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, could change. My child's only 17 months, so could change. I don't want to, badmouth any schools for that nature. But I just haven't heard the best things. I've heard great things about the private schools around me. I guess just based off of location, I think would be more of the reason. I don't see anything wrong with, like I said, I went to public school. You did, you're teaching there. I think there's tons of great things about both. But my wife, I think, was more just like, I want her to be able to be closer to home with, you know, a couple of my buddies have kids that go there and they know the teachers. And I've got a couple of, you know, like I said, familiarities with some of the better schools, I would say, quote unquote, around me. So that's the biggest reason. It's not anything other than that or anything crazy. Who knows? Maybe in a couple years it'll change and they'll be going to public
Right.
school. Yeah,
Right. Or you might move or something like
yeah,
that.
absolutely, yeah. But the moving, I don't know when you moved to Youngsville, but the housing market, we got in when it was like 2020.
Oh yeah,
So
you
just
was living life, ain't you? You had a
just
good
beat the
one.
yeah, just beat the curve of the crazy like interest rates and stuff. So we'll see about the moving, but not too
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, we renting right now, so
Okay.
maybe when we buy, we actually want to stay out in Youngsville here. My wife lives it
Okay.
out here. She's
That's
originally
nice.
from Mississippi,
Okay.
so this country feel is her thing. I'm not. I like it now. I
Yeah.
was hesitant at first because Lisa
Yeah.
Road, thick in
Of
Raleigh.
course. Yeah.
It was just to the city life, but it's
Mhm.
nice out here though.
No, I hear you, man. And I'm the same way. I'm with you. Like I grew up near Leesville. Um, we were in Cary, and she was like, "Do you want to look out in Johnson County?" And it was just a
That's
situation where,
Smithfield, ain't it?
yeah. What'd you say? Yeah, Smithfield. Yeah, we're in Clayton, so I'm in Clayton. Uh,
Okay.
just a little bit more towards Raleigh on the Smithfield side, but yeah, we're out here too. So I'm out in the countryside, and I hear you, man. It's slower, but I began to like it as time went on, and we said the
I mean,
same
it's not
thing.
much traffic, so it's like, hey,
No,
I kind of like it.
nah, it's a lot of nice old folk too out here, and a lot of southern charm and all that good stuff. So I definitely Youngsville. I don't quote me, but I want to say I've heard it's kind of booming a little bit. There's some
Oh,
people
it's
moving
getting
out that
there.
way. Yeah,
Yeah, it's getting there. They building a lot.
that's
I'm
awesome.
actually working in Youngsville next year, and they're
Hmm.
building a whole new housing development, like a couple thousand families or something like that, 3,000 families, maybe something like that. It's just a big place that they're building up. So
Yeah.
they're expecting a big influx.
No, that's awesome. And when if you do end up staying there and you buy there, they're just going to keep building. Your house price will just keep going up and
What?
up. Yeah,
What?
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
you already know
Yeah,
exactly what I'm looking for.
no, that's what's up.
Uh, I thought it was funny that you mentioned the Facebook groups. I never thought in a million years that I'd be in so well. My wife is in them mostly, but
Yeah,
watch her and whatever she shows me stuff. I never thought I'd be in Facebook groups of parenting or neighborhood Facebook group.
hmm
I think it's just hilarious how our lives have evolved, especially when we start having kids.
yeah. No, I 100%. I'm in like the HOA neighborhood with the Facebook moms and all that good stuff. Luckily, I really do like my neighborhood, and I really do like the people in here. I think that's why we became so fond of this area. Is we got a really nice neighborhood. But yeah, it's like put on the New Balances and hike up the jean shorts and get out there and chat with the neighborhood folks. That's what I feel
Yeah.
like. But it's funny. It's
It
funny that
really
you say
is,
that. Yeah,
man.
it's
It
funny.
is, man. I just think it's so hilarious. It's just I know,
Yeah.
going from just being an athlete and just now
Hmm.
living everyday life, working, coming back, kids coming home to the family, the wife. It's like,
Yeah.
man, my life has changed so much.
Yeah. I mean, I I I actually wanted to ask you. I guess I could tie this in with like the Citadel. I know that's like a military academy. And obviously that takes discipline, right? You graduated from there, you played basketball, you had to do your schooling, all that good stuff. I'm like, I know it's probably different stress, but that probably set you up to be a father. I was gonna ask like the time consuming that, or like the time management, the stress, trying to figure out how to do stuff on the fly, that type of stuff. I'm
Mhm.
sure you had to deal with that. That's crazy. But I guess my question would be like, did you have to serve? So is the Citadel the same as like West Point? Because I know West Point, I'm not sure, but I think they have to serve. What is it? A couple
Yeah, they
years
do at
after?
West Point, but not
Okay.
at the Citadel because Citadel,
Okay.
VMI, we're all institutions. So the
Okay.
academy is West Point Naval Academy, and
Gotcha.
the Air Force are academy. So you go there, you play basketball there, whatever the case would be, you gotta serve. I forget how long, maybe 2, maybe 5. I
Hmm.
can't exactly remember that. We
Okay.
talked to. I've been to all their campuses, played basketball against them. It's
Hmm.
pretty really nice gyms and
Yeah.
campuses. I really like Air Force. It was in Colorado.
Oh,
man,
man.
I couldn't breathe when I played them jokers. That was so high up there.
Really?
Oh yeah, I couldn't breathe for nothing. But
Dang.
to answer the first part of your question, I definitely think it did help a lot because I wasn't undisciplined. I always worked hard. I always just made sure I did what I had to do. But it really refined me. Even especially with, like, I call it shaking hands, kissing babies. You know, like you said, put the jean shorts up and just and the New Balances and just talking to your neighbors. But the same thing with, like, business wise or just on the job or in interviews or whatever the case may be. I think it really refined me in that. And then with being on the fly, you know, especially our freshman year, I don't know if you know about, it's called Knob Year, when we have to go through all, and we call it Hell Week, and it's different, like just basically it's like a plebe year, maybe equivalent to basic training, if you will. So we had to go through that, and that really helped me, and just like you said, balancing everything. And now as a father, it doesn't seem as stressful, but sometimes it's different stress, of course. But sometimes it can get overwhelming sometimes, especially with kids in different places and stuff like that. But I definitely think just being an athlete in general, man, that what it takes. And then also the Dell, and of course, it really just, it blessed me, man. I wasn't going to go there. I was actually going to go to Delaware State.
Really?
Originally, yeah, I verbally committed, but then the Citadel called me in May. And, you know, he had to go there in June, and I went on an unofficial visit, and they offered me right on the spot. I said, well, it's probably better for me to go to the Citadel than Delaware State, because I still, like I said, had a little wild side still, and I wanted to be out there. So I'm so glad that I didn't go to Delaware State, man. I had some homies that go and stuff like that, and it sucked to tell them I couldn't go, but it's just a better life decision, man. I don't think I would be where I'm at if I did.
I hear you. And let me ask you, is Delaware State, what conference are they in? I know they're D1.
Yeah, they're D1 at HBCU, so they're in the
HBCU? Okay.
Yeah, they're HBCU. It's in the what's the one that
is that in Grambling State and Central and all of them, I believe? I'm not good with this.
I think it's the MEAC though.
The MEAC,
I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think ain't Grambling State in the SWAC. I think they're in a SWAC.
Maybe. I'm not great with that.
I think MEAC is like all East Coast, like Hampton, all of them is MEAC. I think Delaware State was in that one, and then SWAC is like Mississippi, Valley State, Grambling. I think all of them in there.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife is Mississippi, so she hype right now.
That's funny. That is funny. But I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the Citadel, to me, I had a buddy I played summer league with. I can't even remember his name. It was very short. He went to the Citadel, and he said the same thing. Like, between academics and the schooling, they had great facilities. He was like, I committed, pretty quickly once I, saw everything and took my visit. I was like, that's awesome. So
I might have. What year you graduate high school? I forget.
2013.
Okay, so you were 2 years younger than me. So by the time you got to Leesville, I was going, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a 2011 grad.
Okay, yeah. So I played my freshman year at Gibbons. I played just baseball that year, and then I played JV baseball. And then my sophomore year, I played with my older brother on varsity baseball, and then I played JV basketball that year.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't there yet. That was probably your senior year, yeah, because my brother was 2011. Yep, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Did you go to college to play baseball or anything like that, or did you?
Yeah, I did. I actually played at St. Augustine's. That's why I was like, when you said Delaware State, I was like, I should know the HBCUs. I should be better with that. But yeah, poor St. Aug. Right now they're in a tough spot. But yeah, that was where I went, and I played baseball 4 years. Well, 3.5, but 4 baseball seasons. So I was there from my freshman spring semester and graduated. So that first year I was actually at a school called Brevard College, which it was D2 at the time.
I know Brevard. They're Red B, right?
They're blue.
Blue?
Wait,
Okay, maybe
Yeah,
I
they're
thought.
blue. Yeah,
Okay,
Brevard
maybe
College. Yeah.
I heard of him before. I thought that was
Hmm.
that might be
It's a.
Bradley actually.
I think that is. It's like a big B, but this is
Yeah.
small. This was like a small school in the mountains in North Carolina, and at the time they were D2. They're in a pretty decent conference for D2, and I went there and just didn't, see eye to eye with the coach, and ended up leaving, and went to St. Aug, and yeah, graduated from there. Um, but yeah, I should be
That's
better. I should know the MEAC more. I'm crazy.
hey man, especially being out of it. I don't remember none
Yeah,
of that stuff no more. I ain't gonna lie to
nah,
you.
I used to
I
be
don't
better.
even think about it. Yeah, I used to know all that stuff, all the players
Same,
coming in. I knew all the college
same,
kids. I don't remember none of that stuff no more.
same,
I just watched the NBA and the finals,
same.
and I watched college and NCAA March Madness. And I
Yeah,
was like, dang, other than that, I catch it when I catch it.
I agree with that. I almost feel like when we were younger, when you're not past college or even in college, I watched the basketball way more. And there's some of the NCAA teams this year. It was like my first time seeing them, so it was harder to do my bracket.
I just started
Like
guessing,
you
bro.
said,
I
yeah.
didn't care. I was like, I don't know who these kids are, so I'm just gonna guess.
Yeah, I feel like I used to get way better scores on my ESPN bracket, but I'm with you. I'm watching the NBA. What do you think of the finals right now, or the finals, the Eastern Conference and
Oh
Western
man,
Conference finals?
I'm loving the Pacers and the Knicks series. My man
Yeah,
Halliburton went off last night. I fell asleep.
it's
I don't never get to
crazy.
stay up to watch. I be
Hmm.
sleep. I be tired. But
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah. I'm putting to bed and I sit on the couch and next thing I know the game over.
Yeah.
But SGA man, I know that everybody want to make Ant
Hmm.
the face of the NBA, but SGA is cold blooded.
He's
He is
tough,
cold blooded.
and I agree. And they be calling him a foul baiter, but I mean,
I
I
mean,
was always a. I'm not. I don't want to. I'm a basketball purist. I didn't play in college. I didn't play in the NBA, but have I played a ton? Have I shot a ton? Have I watched a ton? Yeah. So I just
yeah.
to know to you, and obviously you can say this playing at a high level, to get those calls and to score the way he does. I mean, that's a talent in itself. So whenever
Oh
people
yeah.
say that, whenever people call him that, I'm like, that's crazy. But
Uh, Guard him. That's all you.
yeah,
That's all he did to
exactly.
say. Guard him.
Guard
And
him.
if that's what it is, make sure you don't touch him. But he's still
Yeah.
going. You got to put hands on him.
Yeah. You got to. It's like James Harden back in the day where
Oh
people,
yeah.
it's the same concept, but he was crafty and he's got it's like a style to get to the free throw line. And honestly, I've seen a bunch of stats that, former MVP shot way more free throws. So I think it's just the
Hmm.
style of play. People don't, certain things they don't like, and they comment on Twitter and all that stuff. So I agree with you though. He's
He's
tough.
Kobe-esque, man.
Oh,
He
he's
really.
tough.
I love his game.
He
I
is.
like I said, I never really watched him. I
Hmm.
heard about him and
Same.
stuff like that, but not until this playoffs. I said, "Oh, he's a
Yeah.
bucket. He is a problem."
Oh
I
my
said, "Oh, he's
gosh.
that guy."
They were
Yeah.
throwing multiple people at him, and he was just cooking, getting to his spot, walking them down. It's crazy. It's honestly that whole Oklahoma City team. Like you said, I haven't watched much. I haven't seen. I see the highlights. They show Shea's, highlights. They show the other guy, J Dub, the other guard.
Hmm.
But man, they're deep. They got some of the guys coming off the bench I've never even seen play, and they're balling. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
The Pacers the same way.
The
Like,
Pacers
who
are
is
the
these
same way.
people?
So I'm saying, I'm a Knicks fan, and I have a tough
Oh
time.
man.
Yeah, I have a tough time understanding how the Pacers are good. But when you look at them on paper, they got 9 guys that can shoot, dribble, pass, score, and defend, and they all play hard. So I mean, they're going to be tough.
Oh yeah. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that. I know you're a Knicks
mhm.
fan, but I'm looking forward to that Pacers
Yeah, it's
Thunder
gonna.
series.
Yeah, this is gonna be time stamped, like you said. So I don't want to. I don't want to say anything crazy. I just hope my team wins. That's
Yeah,
all you can
right.
say. That's all you can say. But it is gonna be tough. I do think. Who do you think is gonna win the finals if it does come down to
If it
OKC?
comes down to that, man, I'm gonna have to go with the Thunder.
Hmm.
Um,
Same.
just because the way they playing and the defensive style. But if
Yeah.
Neesmith can lock up or even
Hmm.
just disrupt, not lock, you
Hmm.
can't lock no NBA player up really. But
Slow him
if you can
down.
just slow him down and get him off, not get his average, then Halliburton play like he played last night, like kind of like being aggressive, but also distributing. Man, they're gonna have a real tough because I think the Pacers are deeper than the Thunder are in terms of like
They might
getting
be.
buckets, like people that can score. And then you got Siakam and I mean, who knew that? What's Miles Turner?
Miles
Do you
Turner is
remember
good.
when he came into the league? He was not all that, and now he's like shooting threes and pulling. I'm like, who is this guy?
and for someone that, like I said, someone that's watched, he's been on all those teams. He was in the Oladipo era. He was in he's been the longest
Paul
tenured
George
Pacer.
era,
Paul
right?
George era. Yeah, I think he was towards the end. Yeah. And he's been the longest tenured Pacer. I mean, he's been there. He's been playing for a while for them. So it is, and I never thought he would pan out, but he's pretty solid. He can shoot from deep, spread the floor as a 5. That's good. I mean, they're tough, like you said. I think they might be better in terms of overall hoopers, but I don't know. Oklahoma City, they're starting 5, and probably 6, 7 are real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
What you think the Knicks' problem is? Because I mean, like you said, on paper, I mean, the Knicks seem like they should be not blowing them out, but they should be winning. I mean, you got Brunson, the clutch dude. You got Bridges playing real well. Then you got Cat as well. Then you got all these pieces around it. I mean, what do you think their problem is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no sports analyst. All these takes are just, my opinion before I say something probably controversial, but I swear, I was saying this. I think Jeff Teague on a podcast the other day said it. Brunson, and he's a phenomenal player, and he probably should at times, but he definitely holds the ball too long. I feel like that's the reason why Oklahoma City's so good, and that's the reason why the Pacers are so good, is a lot of times it's, a swing and go or a skip pass or, a catch and shoot or, quick decision type thing where he'll like turn his back and like, kind of do his one-on-one. And it works. He scores, 40 points. But a lot of times, unless Mitchell Robinson's in or Josh Hart flies in there and does something crazy and tips it out, they're usually one shot and then they're back. And then also a problem with that. And I got to reiterate, Jalen Brunson is the guy. He is the best player on the team. Yeah, dude, he's crazy. But if you watch, I've watched, I get it on my phone. I've got the NBA pass or whatever. So I've watched every Knick game this year. And I think, seriously, he's not the best defender. I don't want to say anything crazy, but
not at all.
Golly, I think that's a big issue, when it comes down the stretch. He can't really guard anyone, so it's tough.
One of their best runs without him in the game, so
yeah, it's tough. It's tough because he's like that huge offensive threat, and he really can put the ball in the hole, and he's clutch, and he can, break down a lot of guys, and he can pass too. I definitely think he can, but it's tough. It's tough with the defense. A lot of these teams, they don't have any holes on defense, So it's tough. But I do think down the stretch, I think Tibbs is another problem on the team. I don't mean to keep, trashing my guys, but at times I question his rotations, but like I said, that's what I'm saying.
He don't use nobody.
he don't use anybody. A lot of those guys play 40 minutes, and they've been playing 40 minutes. And certain people will say it's good. They get their legs for the playoffs or whatever. But I don't know. I think fatigue is a big factor in some of those late game. You know what I mean? They've had some late game blunders, and it's just it's tough. At any level, especially the NBA, to play like 6 or 7 guys. It's just, you see, like I said, those better teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Pacers, they're playing 9 guys. And,
faithfully.
Yeah.
So to tie it back to fatherhood, like, are you trying to? I know she's young, but I was already thinking like, I'm gonna get her to play sports, even if it's not basketball, play something. Just throw a ball at her, see if she can catch it. Just kind of like build those motor skills early, because that's my
Yeah.
mind was at. Like, try to catch this ball or hold this ball or squeeze it or pick up this real small thing. Like, is your mind there? Or have you thought about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you make the jokes like you said, you're gonna do this and do that, but she's already got the little tykes hoops and the little girls pink ball and all that good stuff. And you know, I'm definitely gonna be the dad that's like, whatever she likes, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna push her towards the basketballs, or you
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean, or whatever.
All
Put the
day.
Exactly, exactly. But whether it's golf, tennis, anything that's not something I played growing up, as long as she's happy. But I'm with you. I'm gonna anytime I get a chance, I'm gonna hand her the basketball or do whatever it takes. But it's I think that's just a parent as an athlete parent thing in general. We all do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I always joke. I said, as long as you play inside, we're good. Because I didn't play no outside before. I was not an outside guy. We were playing inside.
I
No
hear you.
weather, no elements can mess with me. But my kids like volleyball, soccer, and
Okay.
gymnastics currently. So, and
Oh man.
gymnastics is pretty cool to watch. But I
Yeah.
just want to train my kids. So I
Mhm.
don't know anything but basketball. So hopefully they choose it.
No, I feel you. I was gonna say the gymnastics probably down the road is probably good for basketball and all those other sports.
Yeah.
That body coordination is good. It's good
Oh yeah.
for. That's what I've heard. That was like a couple of my buddies who had girls. They were like, get her in gymnastics, get her, used to flipping and twirling and falling and doing all that stuff. So I definitely think. What age did you put your daughters in that first? I don't know if there's like an age
But
requirement.
nah, I mean, I've seen some. There's one is this place in Youngsville. They have as
Okay.
young as like one or something, or maybe
Wow.
like it's not like them. It's kind of like more
Hmm.
like just I don't
Playing.
know, tummy
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
if you will.
yeah. Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
but she went in. I think it was like so. She started at 3, I think, and they were doing some good stuff.
Nice.
And now looking at this new gym. She was at the YMCA first.
Hmm.
Look at this new gym in Youngsville called Tri County, I think.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be really, really good. So looking at put her in that, but we shall see. But it does. Her core is amazing. It's crazy. Like the crazy things she could do with is her core. I said, man, she was on a bike the other day, and
Hmm.
I was teaching her how to push off like with her like a scooter and
Hmm.
to get on. She got on a bike and put both feet on the pedals and like it was sat there for a second. Like her whole core just kept the bike straight. And then she took off. I said, "Girl, how did you do that?" Like she didn't fall or nothing. Her core is crazy.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, man.
Nah,
I wish I got that on video, man. That was awesome.
nah, that is awesome. That is awesome. But yeah, dude, I'm sure that keeps you busy though. The gymnastics, you said soccer too, and what was the other one? What was
Volleyball.
volleyball? Volleyball.
Yeah, yeah. So that's fun stuff, man. They're figuring it out. I don't know if they really want to keep going with it or not, but as long as we put them in there and let them see if they like
Of
it or not.
course, of course. My parents, they did a good job of like letting me. I think I did like 1 year of hockey. I tried football. I had like a skateboarding phase at one point. I mean, I think my parents let me try everything. Of course, you do the soccer, basketball, baseball when you're real young, but I think they even let me try like other sports. And they didn't stick, and I didn't really like them. So it was
Hmm.
basically just basketball and baseball growing up.
I wish I played soccer. Man. I don't think I ever played
Mhm,
soccer, but like playing with these
mhm,
kids now at middle school, I'm like, man, this is a fun sport. It's
mhm.
like basketball with your feet. Like
Yeah,
I never actually played it before, so I was like, damn,
yeah,
this is real fun.
yeah, dude. And I bet, dude, you would be good for sure too, because you'd be. A lot of times I played in middle school, and soccer players height doesn't really matter because, like you said, you're playing with your feet. So I was like one
Hmm.
of the bigger in middle school, right? Taller. So you would be like a giant out there. You'd be heading the ball, jumping up, heading the ball. You'd be physical. You'd be bigger than everybody. You've been good. That's crazy though. But I feel you. It's a lot of running. It is a lot of
Yeah.
running.
I like running though. Like I'm good with
Hmm.
that. I went running before we got on the podcast. Like I love
Uh,
running. I just
that's what's
never
up.
we never tried it. I tried baseball and I was like, that ball is way too small and it goes too fast. I do not like that sport. I was first base and I said, I can't do this no more. So are you done having kids or are you gonna have more?
Yeah, we plan on having more. I know recently we've just talked about it, and we have a Disney trip coming up. And last time we were at Disney, she was actually pregnant. So I don't blame her. She was like, I want to go and have a drink in Epcot and do that whole thing. And I was like, I get it. Hey, I get it. But yeah, we definitely plan on having more. So probably around then. I'm not sure if it'll be like, you know what I mean? But yeah. I want to have a boy, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be sad with more girls.
Yeah, no, not at all. You have a number of how many you want, or you just gonna let it see what happens?
I always mess with her and tell her like 4 or 5, but she always says like 3. So I don't know. We'll see. I really think my first daughter she's like she runs around and does all this stuff. So I'm always like she's setting us up for the calm kid, but we'll see. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah,
You know
it's
how
always
that
a
goes.
second kid for us. That's been wild. So
Yeah.
and I got number 5 on the way. So I think I'm done. I got my starting 5.
Are you okay? Okay. I was gonna ask. That was gonna be my next question. Are you going for the 6th man of the year?
Well, my wife doesn't want to go over the 6th man, so
okay.
I can't. I don't have to carry him or her. So I
course.
guess I'll
Understandable. Yeah. Understandable. Nah, I'm playing.
Yeah.
But nah, dude. Yeah. I think I'd be okay with 3. 3, maybe 4. If 4, if so be it, I would be cool with that too. But 5.
Yeah.
Did you plan on having 5, or did it just that's how God?
That's how God worked, man. I can tell you,
I know.
I have kids, and 2 of my kids live in South Carolina.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So it wasn't all with my wife. But this is my first one with my wife, actually. So she brought 1 in, I brought 3 in. And so now this is our 5th one together. Our 5th one.
Awesome.
And we both, all our kids are ours. You know how that goes. So
of course.
so this is number 5, man. But first one in the marriage. So
gotcha.
Exciting.
Dude, awesome.
Exciting.
Now exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So I always I'm starting now to try to end off with this, man. And like I said, this is for the archives. Say something you want to tell your daughter, maybe that when she listens to us later on, that'll be something that'll touch her.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, dang, you put me on the spot.
I know it's hard to think about because you're so young, but
yeah. I like doing these things, but I just can't. I love you very much, and I hope you're happy with everything, and you got everything you wanted with life, and you see this every single time you see this, just know that I love you and doing everything I can to try to provide for you and your mother. So, more blessings, and I hope this is a positive light, and it continues to be a positive light, and you continue to have a fantastic life. So this is your dad about to turn 30. I'm still 29 right now, but 29 years old. So hopefully this will be a little timestamp for you.
Awesome. Hey, this is episode 112. Hope everybody stay blessed.